Here's more wrestling news for June 17th, 2021. And your headlines for this afternoon include Sonya Deville training for WWE in-ring return, AEW officially making New York Dynamite debut, backlash from a few stars, new WWE SmackDown match revealed for Friday, Tessa Blanchard helps woman bleeding on the road, he really wants to have a match with me, Wade Barrett comments on possibly returning to the ring to face young star. He's apologized to me several times, released WWE star on Jaxson Ryker's controversial tweet. He got lucky that night. Jim Ross reveals WWE almost fired a big superstar for refusing to lose. WWE makes 2 significant backstage hires, and more. We're starting this video with Sonya Deville, who lost a Loser Leaves WWE match against Mandy Rose at SummerSlam 2020, which allowed Deville to take some time off to deal with the situation regarding the fan who tried to kidnap her. Since returning to TV, Deville has been WWE's latest authority figure, often clashing with Adam Pearce, but she's going to be back in the ring soon as a wrestler once more. Ringside News has learned that Deville is preparing for an in-ring return, which is something that has actually been pushed back, and had things gone according to the original plan, she'd already be wrestling by now. Deville was supposed to be back in the ring during WrestleMania season, but that obviously didn't happen, and it's being reported that her return to action is being pushed back every week. We'll have to see when Deville wrestles again, as the storyline would need to warrant it, but odds are it won't take much provoking to get her back in the ring. AEW news next, and with the company planning on hitting the road soon, there's some major places that the All Elite promotion wants to visit. This week, AEW has confirmed that they'll finally be making their debut in New York City, and that the September 22nd edition of Dynamite will be at Arthur Ashe Tennis Stadium in Flushing, New York. Tony Khan broke the news yesterday morning on WFAN radio, and given the tennis theme of the venue, this show will be a Dynamite Grand Slam special episode. This will be AEW's first show in New York State, as they'd previously planned to run Rochester last year, which was meant to mark the debut of Brody Lee, but those plans had to be canceled. Whilst fans can expect AEW's biggest names to be there, the show may have to go on without the Young Bucks, as in their Twitter bio, the tag team champions said that if the show sells out because of them, then they no-show the event, it'd be the second time that would have happened. This is referring to the New Japan crossover show from April 2019, which took place in Madison Square Garden, and whilst the Bucks were supposed to perform, they later withdrew after signing with AEW. Major stars from the area include Eddie Kingston, MJF, Santana, Ortiz, John Silver, Chris Statlander, and more. And with tickets going on sale on July 16th, we expect them to sell out very quickly. SmackDown news next, and after injuring Montez Ford on last week's show, Otis is out for the second member of the Street Profits. During the bump, it was confirmed that Otis will face Angelo Dawkins, and after his tag team partner suffered a partial rib fracture, we're sure Dawkins will be hungry for revenge on the go-home show before Hell in a Cell. Now, Tessa Blanchard has been one of wrestling's most controversial stars in recent years, but recently, she went above and beyond to help a woman in need. That's according to a report from Sean Ross Sapp, who notes that on Tuesday, Blanchard saw a woman bleeding in the middle of the road outside LA's Millennium Hotel, and Tessa helped block traffic and give the woman aid to slow the bleeding before EMTs arrived. It's unknown what caused the woman to be bleeding in the first place, but we're glad that Blanchard was there to help out in a much-needed feel-good story. Blanchard became Impact's first female world champion, despite several claims being made against her of harassment and bullying, and while she never defended her title before her release, hopefully she'll land somewhere soon. Back to WWE, and in 2016, Wade Barrett let his contract run out after he decided to take a break from wrestling, and after trying his hand at acting, worked for several wrestling promotions, though not as a wrestler. Barrett's last match is a tag team loss with Sheamus to The New Day on the post-WrestleMania 32 edition of Raw, but since then, the former Nexus leader has returned to WWE and impressed fans as an NXT commentator. That being said, there's still fans who want to see him wrestle, and speaking to WWE India recently, Barrett explained that he's old and feels like he has a great gig commentating at the moment. Barrett added that he loves working in NXT, but noted that Austin Theory is constantly trying to nudge him back into the ring, saying that the young superstar really wants to have a match with him. Barrett praised Theory as a hell of a talent and sees him going a long way, and though the Way member may be too young and quick for him, a match with Theory may tempt him back for one last match. 5 years since his last match, Barrett remains in great physical shape, and time will tell whether Theory gets his way, no pun intended, and that he gets to collide with the former King of the Ring. One person fans won't see in WWE is Wesley Blake, who was released earlier this year after close to a year going unused. A member of the Forgotten Sons, Blake, alongside Jaxson Ryker and Steve Cutler, were called up to SmackDown in April 2020, but the trio were dumped from TV after Ryker posted a pro-Donald Trump tweet shortly after the then-president authorized the use of tear gas on peaceful protesters. Speaking to the Two-Man Power Trip podcast this week, Blake admitted that he and Cutler advised Ryker to delete the tweet, which he refused to take down. He added, "Ryker has apologized to me several times on several different occasions. He never meant to hurt our careers in that way in that aspect." Several WWE superstars called out Ryker for his tweet, with Kevin Owens calling it "f***ing pathetic," whilst Ricochet hoped the tweet was in character. And whilst Cutler and Blake both apologized to the locker room on Ryker's behalf, it wasn't enough to save the Forgotten Sons, despite Ryker now being the only one left in WWE. In both AEW and WWE, Jon Moxley has been a success, and the former world champion had an impressive career on the indie scene before then. Though Moxley is an accomplished wrestler, that wasn't always the plan for him, as during oral sessions, a fan asked him what he would have been doing if he hadn't entered the ring. Moxley explained that an aptitude test told him that he'd be a forest firefighter, saying it seems like a cool job, and added that he also would have been a decent writer. Moxley does have his memoirs releasing this November, and when another fan asked him whether he'd support his daughter if she wanted to become a wrestler, the AEW star said he'd encourage her to go for it if she was really passionate. Given that his daughter is less than a week old, Moxley and his wife, Renee Paquette, have plenty of time to discuss the possibility of baby Nora entering the ring for herself, and perhaps a father-daughter mixed tag match could happen in the far-off future. Earlier this week, WWE paired with Cameo once again ahead of Hell in a Cell, and whilst these videos aren't cheap, they are slowly selling. That being said, they're not selling nearly as quickly as WWE had hoped, as each superstar is limited to just 10 videos, and at this time, Bobby Lashley, Charlotte Flair, Seth Rollins, and Kevin Owens have sold just one each. That could be a sign that fans don't want to see these superstars, or it could be that fans aren't willing to pay hundreds of dollars just for a video, with Rollins costing $600, Owens and Flair costing $500, and Lashley $450. Bianca Belair, who costs $400, has 7 videos left, Nia Jax has 6 at $350 each, and Shawn Michaels, who costs a whopping $750, has just 1, whilst both Alexa Bliss and Rhea Ripley have sold out. Ripley was the first to sell out, and though it's unclear just how much money, if any, is going to the talent, perhaps these numbers will help influence WWE's booking from now on. Before joining AEW, Jim Ross was a veteran of WWE and oversaw the tenure of Big Van Vader, who joined in 1996. One of Vader's most infamous matches was in Rosemont on June 9th of that year, where he faced the Ultimate Warrior at a house show, and Vader admitted that he didn't want to lose because he wanted to be protected as a monster heel. Leaving mid-match, Vader only returned when he was threatened with a release backstage, and this week, JR discussed what happened on his Grillin' JR podcast. Leon, Vader, is lucky that night he didn't get fired, and a lot of bookers in less tenuous times would have said, "Well, see, you're done. You can't lose, we can't win." Vader did eventually lose the match, albeit by countout, and whilst the Super Heavyweight was one of Japanese wrestling's greatest foreign heels, that didn't translate over when he joined the WWF. And we're ending with WWE, who have made 2 very important hirings this week. According to PW Insider, George Carroll has been hired as a writer for NXT after previously working for New Japan in the US as well as MLW, and was backstage during this week's show. WWE's second hiring is actually a return, as John D'Amico is back with the company as the director of production for live events after being let go last September. Prior to his departure, D'Amico worked in WWE for 31 years, and with the company set to start their 25-city tour very soon, he'll now be bringing his veteran knowledge of the industry back to Vince McMahon's promotion. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.